Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Are we live?
Hi, everybody.
Hello, people. To the second ever Nalu Adventure live stream.
From our kitchen, actually, from our chaotic kitchen. The weather hasn't been too great here the last few days, so we didn't really know what to do, and so that's why we're going live. And initially, we wanted to go to Xamil or something like that, but it has been raining all day today. So,
Oh, let us know. Let us know if you can hear us, guys. I know there's 6 of you already in here, but can you hear what we're saying, or are we just talking to ourselves right now? If you can, try and drop a comment. We can hear you. Great stuff.
hi, Luca.
Hey, Luca. Welcome to the
Hi,
live stream.
McKenna Travels.
Hello from Durrus.
Amazing. Hi,
Great.
Arthur.
Hey, Arthur. Thank you for
Hi,
joining.
Media. That's amazing. I hope the Wi-Fi will be strong enough for us to keep this live stream because it has been so the last few weeks.
Yeah. Oh, there's 13 people in here already. Wow, it's already after Dublin. Guys, everybody that's joining right now, make sure to hit the thumbs up on the live stream if you can. Try and smash that thumbs up so we can get more people in here and get more people talking about this live and talking about Albania as well. Sounds a bit Irish to me.
Yeah.
The video's not great, guys, because we're doing it from a webcam at the moment on a really old MacBook. But hi from Elbasan. Thanks for your amazing videos.
Hi,
Thank
Albert.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, Albert. We love your channel as well. You do great work with your drone shots. Really cool channel. We got a bunch of questions, guys, on our Instagram. So I suppose we're going to start off this live just kind of by running through a couple of those questions. And if you guys have any questions as well, please drop them down into the little comment box here in the live chat, and we'll answer any questions that you have about anything at all, about us or Albania, anything.
Can we swear here?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Should be fine.
Somebody already asked recommendations for Tirana. That depends on what you're really looking for. If you're looking for food, there's tons of options. If you're into cake, check out Le Bon Tirana. That's the best cake shop in Tirana, at least our favorite cake shop. They have a cake that is called Limoni cake. That's my favorite one. You should definitely try that one.
Unreal. Tirana as a whole, Tirana as a city has just a crazy amount of restaurants and so many different options for fast food and stuff like that. It is probably one of the most underrated capital cities, I think, in all of Europe. It's just unbelievable. And for the cost of what you spend in Tirana, you get so much value. It's crazy, like when you compare it to other places around the world. And that's actually why we're just so in love with Albania, and why we spent 6 months in this country.
In the last year.
In the last year, we've spent half of that year just in Albania. So that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
But make sure to go to Tirana. If you're planning on going and you're kind of skeptical, just go there. Everybody that's ever been to Albania or Tirana, they always come back. They come back 2, 3, 4 times because they just fall in love with the country. Yeah. There's 18 people here. This is crazy.
For our second live, that's definitely a milestone. 18 people.
For sure.
Also in Tirana, you should definitely check out the restaurant called Tumi. No, Tami.
Tumi. Yeah, you say
it. But the Albanian pronunciation is Tami, no?
No, Tumi. It basically translates to smoke, and they have incredible grilled food there. Wayne says we need more food reviews. Yes. Yes, we do actually. I love reviewing food, and I love especially Albanian food because it's just so special. Tavi Kozi, Tavi Deu, all of these types of amazing Tavi Krapi. It's all so tasty.
We're trying to lose a little bit of weight though for the summertime.
Yeah, summer's coming, guys. So we're gonna have a look here now in the live chat just to see what you guys are saying. Albert says 3 different things that you don't like in Albania. Now that's a really good question.
So controversial, Albert. Thank you very much for that question.
It's a really good question though, because not a lot of people, obviously travel vloggers like us, we tend to kind of focus on positives all the time, and it's tough to kind of bring up the negatives in a nice way that people can talk about them. But I suppose for me, one of the negatives about Albania is right now it's just kind of the infrastructure. So a lot of things like transport, for example, if you don't have your own car in Albania, things can be a little bit complicated for tourists to travel around comfortably in Albania. That's what I've noticed, anyways, from being here for 6 months. The bus system is a little bit chaotic. It's a little bit all over the place. Tirana is kind of the best out of the bunch when it comes to connectivity and transportation. But once you go outside the capital, it's a little bit crazy, and you never really know where the bus stops are. So keep that in mind.
On the other hand, though, we really started to appreciate the public transport as well, because you ran into so many things that you've never seen before and that would never happen in any other bus system anywhere else in the world. So like people transporting car parts on your bus, or people sending food from one city to the next, or from one village to the next. So like you do see Albania in a very different light if you do travel with public transport, and that's why we are doing it like this. Like, to give you insights, we've never rented a car. The max that we did, we rented electric scooters once in Permet, but other than that, we are just by foot or public transport. So we travel the country like that.
It's actually it's not that difficult if you get used to how Albania is. Albania basically operates on who you know. So if you're able to get to know the locals in Albania, you can do anything. It's about building up your network and just basically chatting to people. It's the opposite of what a lot of the rest of Europe is like. In the rest of Europe, you just boom, you call an Uber or you call a taxi and then they take you to where you need to go. In Albania, you got to go and talk to people and you got to hear what they have to say, figure out where you're going to go. And it's a little bit more extra work, but it usually works out in the end. And it's a great way of just kind of getting around. And in the meantime, getting to know the locals. And the locals in Albania, that's the best part about Albania, is the people. So
exactly. So let's see what you
guys
are asking.
Writing a lot. This is really cool.
Luca is asking, have you guys tried fishing in Škoda? You mean probably in Škoda Lake, like on the border to Montenegro, I assume. We haven't.
That would be really cool, though.
But we tried the fish there. We tried tave krapi, and it was insanely tasty.
Northern Albanian food, like food in the north of Albania, is just amazing. It's so tasty.
Yeah. Lemedia is saying they're planning to come back to the country once the sun is back. Yeah. It has been raining here now for 3 days.
It's been raining, for kind of non-stop at the moment. We're in Saranda. We should say that as well. We're down in the south of Albania, kind of real close to Samil and Butrint and close to Greece as well. But the weather of the last few days has been really bad. So that's why we're bringing you guys this live stream, because we had to figure out a way of still uploading a video while not going outside and getting soaked. And we don't want to get sick as well.
That's why you get to see our kitchen.
That's why you get to see our kitchen here in the Airbnb.
Samer is saying, do you consider to live in Albania forever? Yes.
Yeah.
It has been a big consideration of ours. We have been looking into staying here actually long term. At the moment, we have a little bit of an issue with our visa. That's why we have to leave in a few weeks time. But we just have to get the paperwork done basically. And there's no Irish consulate, so like there's no Irish office for embassy for these things here in Albania. So that's why we have to leave the country to get our paperwork done.
Yep. Let's see, guys, checking out the live chat. Keep popping in any questions that you have at all, and we will get around to the questions.
Lemedia is saying, if you have your own car, get shock absorbers. Yes.
Yeah. The roads in Albania, that might be like another slight negative. Some of the roads in Albania are pretty crazy, and you literally can be off-road on the side of a mountain somewhere. when you're taking a bus or driving a car. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're planning on getting a car or bringing your own car, you definitely need some shock absorbers, because there's some pretty rough roads out there. But there is a lot of them that are being very well developed and newly developed as well. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mix at the moment.
There was this new street now between Tirana and Durrës, no? That they just kind of finished last year or something like that. So that's amazing. They're really starting to look into that stuff. And if you drive a Mercedes, that shouldn't be a problem at all. The majority of people here drive Mercedes for that specific reason, because it's going to stay with you forever. German quality.
Wayne Fields is saying, how far in advance do we book our accommodation?
Same day.
Literally, we book our accommodations kind of a day before we leave somewhere. The way that we travel around is we literally just live out of our backpacks. So our entire life is in backpacks. It's in a kind of it's a large backpack.
Want me to get the backpack?
Yeah, try and find the backpack. 1 second, guys. We're going to show you what our backpack looks like. But our entire life is in these backpacks here. So this one here, it's roughly the size of half my body. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. And we do cram a lot of stuff into these bags. But basically, we just book our accommodation 1 day before we arrive anywhere. And I know that that's kind of a bad way of doing things, but we don't plan anything. Like, we literally do not plan ahead at all for the most part. We literally are just there on our phones, like, this place looks nice. And then we go to the place whenever our current accommodation runs out. That's exactly what we did with Saranda. We were up in the north in Shkodra, and we were like, oh, it's getting a little bit cold. And then we were like, we should really go down south. And then we just booked Saranda the day before we came here. So it's kind of the way we do stuff, guys. And it works. It works so far. We've been doing it now. We've been traveling now for 1 year.
1st of April.
1st of April,
exactly. 1 year.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll be doing this for 1 year straight, living out of bags.
Our channel is an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, our whole channel is an April Fool's joke, guys.
Jack is asking, what are your opinions on Vlora? We have been there last year in August, I'd say, end of July, maybe beginning of August. And it was insane. We love Vlora so much, especially the entire Lungomare area. So when you get kind of to the end where the basketball fields are and the tennis courts and whatever, they're the area where you get where you can swim and everything. It's so nice.
Yep. Vlora is an absolutely amazing country. A country. Vlora is an amazing city in Albania. It's beautiful.
Vlora is an amazing continent.
It's an amazing continent. It's actually one of our favorite places. When you compare it to somewhere like Saranda, it's a little bit larger, I think, than Saranda is, and there's a little bit more selection of things to do. Saranda is a little bit on the smaller side, quieter side, but you can tell Saranda is also built around the whole tourist vibe as well. Out of the two, so far, to be completely honest, I would prefer Saranda, just purely because it's next to Borsh and Dermi, Samil, Butrint. You've got Corfu directly in front of you. So there's just so much more diversity and options there. Whereas in Vlora, you have Sazan Island, and then you do have the whole Lungomare stretch. But other than that, you're a little
go to Durrës,
maybe Durrës. But the beaches here in Saranda and Samil are unbelievable. They're so beautiful, and the water is so clean. It's amazing.
But in Vlora, you do have some sand beaches, and here you only have like stone beaches.
Yeah,
it depends on what you prefer. Let's see the other questions.
Let's see, guys. What are you asking?
Oh, gas prices have raised so much. Albert is saying that. Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen the last time we checked, diesel was 245 lakh, which is insane. Like, we've never seen that in Albania before.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy, but I think it's all over the world the case at the moment.
Yeah, Albania is experiencing inflation. I think it has a lot to do with the last 2 years. A lot of places in Europe have been closed. And obviously, now the situation that's happening over in the Ukraine. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on right now in the world, food shortages and everything. And it's obviously going to affect the pricing of things like fuel. So it's really unfortunate. Hopefully, by the peak season in the summertime this year, they might stabilize a little bit. I hope they don't go up much more because I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably planning on coming here and renting some car or renting a whatever.
Or for the locals as well.
For the locals,
let's just not increase prices anymore, please.
Exactly, yeah. Just, if we can just keep them down, that would be great. Ulsi, the Ramas, if you're watching this,
make sure
sort it out.
Tony, has anyone told you not to go to Albania before you went? And did you have any expectations before? Well, nobody ever actually told us to go to Albania. And when we told the majority of our friends or kind of our circle, our next stop is going to be Albania, a lot of them were saying, are you sure? Like, that's pretty dangerous, because I think especially like our parents' generation have a little bit the view of Albania, like during the war, like during the early 90s or whatever. And so some people still think it's pretty unsafe, but we haven't seen anything negative, to be honest.
Yeah, I've been told by quite a few people before we came to Albania the first time. I was told that Albania is a war zone, that it is still a war zone, that people are dangerous, people are racist, people are this, and this. And then when we came to Albania and spoke to the people and got to know people,
it's not the case.
It's literally the opposite.
You can, just to give you an example, if I'm going to put my backpack outside right now in front of the door, the backpack will still be there tomorrow. And that's what wouldn't be the case in any other country we've ever visited, not even our home country. So Germany and Ireland, that wouldn't be the case. And here in Albania, I feel like things really don't, like, people know each other, and it feels safer than other countries.
Yeah, I'm from Ireland, and a lot of people would say Ireland is a safe country, but I'll tell you something. I feel so much safer walking around in Albania than I feel in Ireland. So that says it all. Like, hands down, this is an incredibly safe country.
Blady is saying, say my name, say my name. Say my name.
La la la. Bledy Dima, thank you for commenting. Guys, keep dropping comments here. We're going to literally fire through all of these as we can.
Why did we decide to go to Albania?
Why did we decide to go to Albania? Well, actually, we usually decide countries that we visit based on other people's negative opinions. So if someone has something negative to say about the country, like if somebody says, oh, this country is dangerous, then we're just like, well, we're going to go there then, because we went to Mexico. A lot of people said the exact same thing about Albania as they said about Mexico, and Mexico was also one of our favorite countries that we visited. It wasn't dangerous. It was really beautiful, and the weather was amazing, and we got a nice tan. So, like, what's the issue?
Yeah, so many people were saying Mexico City is so unsafe. It's the city where the most amount of people go missing every single year. But to be honest, Mexico City was one of our favorite cities that we've ever visited in our entire travel life. So not only the travel life that we have together, but also the individual travel life. So we did definitely.
It was amazing.
Loved Mexico City.
Which would you visit first? Where would you visit first, Tirana or Vlora? Now, that is a tough question. I think based off of the locations of them, I think it's always best to start off any trip in the capital city. I would start in Tirana every time, hands down, if you're going to come to Albania, because it's the capital city. There's so much going on, and it's a very easy way to get integrated into the Albanian culture and to kind of still have people around you that speak a good level of English as well.
That's what I wanted to say. If you only speak English and no second language, definitely start out in Tirana because it kind of eases you into the experience a little bit more. If you go outside of Tirana, so more into kind of the smaller villages, it might be that people don't necessarily speak English, at least the older generation.
Yeah, it's always a problem
me.
as well. Like, guys, if you're coming, if you do have a second language, Italian and German work really well. She's half Italian and half German, so it works well for her.
Yeah.
For
Every time we have to ask an elderly person where the next bus stop is, I just ask in Italian, and all of them understand what I'm saying. So it's really weird, but they all apparently it is because they had Italian television for a very long time. So
yeah,
there's that.
there you go. Venture out. The Carolinas edition says most people in the US say to me, "Where is Albania?" Since we plan on visiting soon. Yeah, we got the exact same thing. I got a lot of that. If I say to anybody who I know back in my Ireland, if I say I'm living in Albania right now, they genuinely are just like, "What? Like,
Where's that?
where is that? And why are you there? And why are you not in Spain? Or why are you not in Portugal or Italy or one of these more well-known tourist destinations?" And I genuinely answer the same thing every time. Um, why would you not come to Albania? It's so much. It costs so much less money. You get the same quality, if not better, food. You have
People are so much nicer.
People are so much nicer.
You're not just a number in terms of tourism either. So, like for example, the last time I went to Spain, I just felt like a random person that is in a massive hotel and they get 5 million or whatever tourists in that specific city every year anyway. So you as a person don't really matter as much. But if you come to Albania, people are so focused on accommodating you, on making sure you have a great experience and all of these things. So like it's a very, very different experience.
For sure, yeah. Next question.
Venture Out was asking as well if it's family friendly here, if you can raise kids here. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. We know people that are raising children in Albania, and it's not a problem at all. Only one com is saying, "Have you guys had to deal with the healthcare system there?" No,
Wait,
thankfully.
kind of. We have dealt with pharmacies, but not with doctors
That's
or
not the healthcare
hospitals.
system.
Yeah, but like I mean, I for example, I have asthma, and
Yep.
if I am in Germany, I need to go to a doctor. I need a prescription. I need all of these things just to get my medication. If you have anything that you might need here in Albania, you can literally just go into the pharmacy and you will get everything.
Yeah.
So like
In terms of the hospitals and in terms of like the healthcare system in general, like dentists and stuff like that, we haven't dealt with any of that so far. I have no idea, to be honest. Let us know if you can what that's actually like, if you do have experiences with it. But thankfully, neither of us have been sick at all in the last year. Just little kind of random colds and stomach bugs and stuff like that. But we've been fine so far, thankfully.
nothing you can't handle with a good pharmacy.
Yeah, exactly. James, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, James Winter, have you been to Vietnam? Currently in Durrës, and he's planning to visit Vietnam in May. We
Not
haven't
yet.
been.
No.
We were looking into going to Asia / Southeast Asia for a very long time, but at the moment it's still pretty iffy with the situation that has been going on for 2 years.
Yeah.
Let's not use the word.
The
We don't want to
restrictions.
get banned.
The restrictions in Southeast Asia are like kind of just at the level where it's genuinely impossible to go there right now and for it to make sense. Like, no matter what you do, you have to go through all of this like quarantining, extra testing, test yourself 3 or 4 times, do all this crazy stuff like back to back to back, pay for hotels to quarantine in, stuff like that. And every country in Southeast Asia is kind of operating in a similar way. So it's tough to know. Hopefully, Southeast Asia opens soon because we would love to go to Cambodia, Vietnam, India,
Indonesia.
Indonesia, all of these countries,
Philippines.
Philippines, yeah, Philippines, Malaysia, they're all on our list and definitely soon if they open up. That's the main thing for us.
They are semi-open, but like we kind of want to go there without having to stay in a hotel quarantine for 10
Yeah,
days or whatever it is at the moment.
exactly.
Simon.
Simon Tasker says, have you been to Ksamil yet? Real lack of YouTube videos covering restaurants. We haven't been there yet. We are so close to it, but we haven't gone down to it just yet. We've been in Saranda now, I think maybe 8 or 9 days so far.
I don't know.
We absolutely love Saranda, but we're planning on going and making some videos in Samil, in Butrint, in Borsch, and a few other places. So definitely keep an eye out for that, guys. If you haven't already, and if you are watching the live stream and you're not subscribed to us, how dare you? Go and hit the red subscribe button if you can, guys. Also, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this live, just so we can try and get more people. We have like 27 people, which is actually a record for us. This is our second ever live, guys. So thank you so much if you're in here and if you're dropping questions down below. You guys mean a lot to us.
Blady asked, do you visit Fear, Apollonia? We have been going through Fear like 5 times, I want to say. Maybe
5 or 6 times, yeah.
But just kind of on the bus because they have a big connection station, basically. But we have never went out of the bus station side of things. So we should definitely do that.
Yeah. Luca has a question again. I know y'all are getting bored of my questions, but
we're never bored of you, Luca.
Is there a possibility you could visit Kotor for like a day in the summer? All my friends are basically asking me every day, when are they coming? That's nice. I'm sure we're going to pass back through Montenegro at some stage because we are going to be spending a lot more time around the Balkans. We love Montenegro, we love Albania, we love Croatia.
Croatia was very nice.
We plan on seeing a lot more of the Balkans. Turkey, Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania, all of these incredible places are on our list, and we're going to be making a lot of videos for you guys. And I'm sure at some stage we will be passing back through Montenegro. We don't have a choice. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Thanks, Simon.
Wow. Thank you.
Have a course or two in Ksamil.
Thank you very much, Simon.
I didn't know that feature was available to us.
I genuinely didn't even know that people could donate on here. But thank you very much, Simon. Jesus, that's a lot of money. That means a lot to us. Thank you for that. Let's see what other questions we have here, guys.
Linda has asked, have you guys already learned to speak in Albanian? A little bit. Some people think we actually speak fluent Albanian, and then we are just like, hello, how are you? How's it going? Kind of, I want a bread, whatever. And then the people ask a lot of questions in Albanian, and we're always like,
nope.
What?
Nope.
And then we're always like, yo skip,
we have
in that direction.
We have very, very basic Albanian. So like we know like the words that you can get by with. Like we know Miro Pavshim, which is like goodbye. Faleminderit, thank you. Përshëndetje. Sieni mir, Shumir. All of this like
Natanimir.
A lot of mir. There's a lot of mir going on in Albanian, which is basically mir just means good. So you can kind of use it interchangeably. Po as well, which means you like yes. Po yo is no.
Te dua, is that not like I love you?
Te dua, yep. That means I love you in Albanian.
That was everywhere around Valentine's Day, so
yep.
I remembered that.
So we have like the bare essentials of Albanian language so far, and we will definitely learn more. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions, guys? Let's see.
James said there is no more quarantine in Vietnam, but only 30-day visa.
30-day visas. Okay, so that for us, that's actually a really good news that there's no more quarantine there. 30-day visas available. Do you know, James, if we were to go to Vietnam and you stay there for your 30-day stay, and if you do like a stopover in another country, can you immediately come back in? or is that an issue? Because that would be something that we would definitely look into if that's the case. Um, let's see, guys.
Ayator is asking, he's from Nigeria, and yes, he's asking if he can come here to work.
As far as we know, we don't know actually. If you're from Africa, Nigeria, we have no idea, to be honest, what the like law is around that. If any of you guys know, down below, drop a comment. Let us know if people from Nigeria can come and work in Albania, just to help our good friend out there in the comments. Let's see, Linda. There's an amazing place in Samiel where you can stay. It's called Villa White. Amazing people there. Thank you very much for the recommendation.
Yeah.
That's great. We love getting different things, little drops of value from you guys. If you do have them, let us know any recommendations as well as questions, guys.
We haven't mentioned North Macedonia yet. Any reason why, and have you visited? How does it compare to Albania?
We haven't been there.
We haven't been there, to be honest. We haven't been in North Macedonia yet. We haven't been in Kosovo either. So
Yep.
Those are still countries that are on our list.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we didn't visit it.
North Macedonia is super interesting, though. I've heard some cool stuff about places like Ohrid, Bitola, Skopje. There's a whole bunch of places there that we're very interested in checking out, and similar history and stuff like that to Albania as well. So
we have
really
been
cool.
on the Albanian side of Lake Ohrid last year, and we actually saw pelicans there.
Oh yeah,
we didn't know that pelicans exist in Albania, but apparently migrate to Albania in the summertime. So we didn't know that, but that was very cool.
In Pogradec, the city of Pogradec on Lake Ohrid. That is a place to check out, guys. If you are looking into Albania, you should add Pogradec to your list. It's on Lake Ohrid, which is an ancient lake, really deep, great for going for a nice swim. We didn't do it because it was freezing cold, but check the place out, guys, because it's an amazing place, and it's not spoken about at all.
We went there in the off season, by the way, and it was completely empty. Like, we went there, I think it was in September, so it was still very warm, but there was nobody around, so we had the entire place to ourselves, and it was amazing.
Let's see, guys. Let's see.
In Corfu, put the at the end.
Corfus. Renee.
Hi,
hello.
Renee.
Hello, Renee. Welcome to the live. Thank you very much for joining us here. If you have any questions, Renee, make sure to drop them down below.
Do you guys like hiking? Arthur is asking. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. We love it.
Hiking.
We've done quite a bit of hiking. We did the Morava mountain in Korcha.
That was so nice.
That was incredible.
They are supposed to have amazing honey there.
Yeah. The whole of Albania is perfect if you like nature and you like hiking, because the Albanian Alps, you have so many different mountain ranges all around this country. Even the Lakursi Castle has a great kind of walking path that you can take up there. It's not too long, so if you are like a beginner in terms of hiking and you do want to see some nice views, check out Lakursi Castle when you're here in Saranda. There's my mom. Hello, mom.
Hi, mom.
Thanks so much, guys. If you have any more questions, please drop them down below. We are glad to answer everything. Are you guys going to build a business and stay in Albania? That was the original plan for us coming back to Albania. We were planning on opening up a hostel and bringing tourists, English-speaking tourists and Italian tourists and German tourists, and helping them to navigate and plan their trips in Albania. But we ran into difficulties with our visas. There's no Irish embassy currently in Albania, which kind of sucks. I'm going to have to go to somewhere like Athens or maybe Istanbul to get paperwork sorted and stuff like that. There's also a big issue in regards to bureaucracy in Albania. A lot of people have said that to us. You really need to work on building things like your network and stuff like that, and have the right connections before you go about starting a business in Albania. So that's something that we really have to look into more and get more details on before we decide to properly invest into a long-term business and put all that risk in before we kind of know the full situation. So what we're planning on doing now is do more travel, make more videos, and have more fun with you guys. And as the story goes along, we're going to keep that in the forefront of our mind. And hopefully, one day in the near future, you will be coming to our hostel and staying with us.
The Nalu Adventure Hostel.
Nalu Adventures Hostel.
Wayne was asking if we have a local SIM card to get around here. Funnily enough, we don't.
Nope.
The way we do it usually is that whenever we go to a cafe, we just ask for the local Wi-Fi password, and everybody here, the majority of the cafes have Wi-Fi, and it's usually not a problem to get around. And it's also kind of nice to switch off your phone for some time and not always be available. So that's why we chose not to get a SIM card so far.
Yeah, it's worked out as well, surprisingly. Like we literally just go into the cafes, walk into a cafe in Albania, and then you're just like, hey, you order your coffee, and then you just ask for the Wi-Fi. You're sorted. All good.
The other thing that we're doing a lot as well, a lot of the times the Wi-Fi password in Albania is 1234567 8.
Yep. So the password.
I don't know why, but it works.
It's either 1234567 8, or it's the name of the business 2020. So keep that in mind, guys. Passwords for Wi-Fi, you can get around them pretty easily.
Renee was waving at her screen as well. That's so nice. Do you think it's possible to hike from Vlora to Himara? Ooh. I saw you ask that question beforehand as well. And to be honest, we haven't done that yet. So we are not 100% sure. But last year, we met a couple from Austria, and they traveled all the way to Albania with their bicycle. Yeah. So I do think it is possible, but you might need a tent or like a stopover in the middle somewhere where you can sleep, because I think it's quite some time. I think in the question before you asked Vlora to Borš, and I looked it up, it was kind of 18 hours to walk or something like that. So maybe over 2 or 3 days, depending on how fit you are, it's probably possible.
Yeah. I think everything is possible, guys, in Albania. It's in terms of the size of the country, it's not a big country. Excuse me. It's not a big country at all. So if you do have like a racing bike or a mountain bike or whatever, bring your equipment, prepare yourself, and just go for it, because it's not a huge place, and you definitely will be able to navigate around. Just keep in mind, if you're going to do it during the summertime, it's really hot. Like it gets up to 40, 45 Celsius. So make sure to bring your water with you.
Last year in Tirana, we had 45 Celsius one day.
Yeah.
In August, there was a lot.
Irvin says, having connections for a business, you have no competition. You have no competition. It's not true. That's actually quite a good point as well. We would have very little competition if we did start up our hostel here, because we do not know many other English-speaking people that run hostels. We know a few. We know
2 couples.
The Stone City Hostel in Gjirokastër, and we know a couple of other ones.
The English guy in Tirana.
The English Hotel.
English Hostel.
The English Hostel in Tirana, yeah, that's another one. Calvin, I think, is his name, the owner of that place. So there are a few people doing it, but there's very little competition. That's very, very true. Lemedia says, Vodafone SIM cards work well in Albania. Yeah, we've seen that. Vodafone, I think, is one of the most heavily promoted mobile companies. They're a huge company in Ireland as well, and Germany. Everywhere. They really do. They have coverage, I think, pretty much everywhere at this stage. So Vodafone is one that we have been looking at. We have a good friend that does a lot of live streams here in Tirana called Chris Forte.
He's in Istanbul at the moment.
He's in Istanbul, but he promotes Vodafone quite a bit because he uses it to live stream around the city, and he says that he never really has any network problems. So that's amazing, and it's really, really positive. So we are thinking maybe soon of getting a Vodafone SIM card, but we'll see.
I'm still hesitant about that SIM card thing.
Vato says, "Is there something different about Albania that you haven't experienced anywhere else?" There's a lot,
A lot.
a lot. Albania is probably one of the most unique countries that we've ever been to, and that's why we love it so much.
You have everything here. There's the beach, there's the mountain, there's fields, there's like everything in between. So it's a very versatile country, which I never knew about it before visiting it. Like I knew
Yeah.
obviously it was at the ocean, but the whole Albanian Alps thing, like I wasn't aware of that before.
There's so much different things like about like quirkiness of Albania. It just surprises you every day. Like just to give you guys a story, I said this in one of our videos, but we needed to get some stuff printed off in order to collect a delivery while we were in Tirana. We got some jackets shipped over to us from Naomi's mom, and it was just unbelievable the way that it happened. They were like, okay, you need to get your IDs printed. Can you come back with these printed? There's a print shop next door. We were like, okay, cool. We went over to the print shop. We got talking to the owner of the print shop or the guy that worked there. And he was just like, why are you in Albania? We told him, oh, we just love it. It's an amazing country. We're YouTubers and we make videos, etc. Then he said, please tell me your favorite thing about Albania. And I just said to him, oh, we love raki.
Raki Mani, I think we said.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, you like raki? And then he went into the back of the printing store and grabbed a bottle of raki and then came out and was just like, here you go. And then he just started pouring shots of raki and we drank some raki with him while he was printing stuff off. And that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. It just doesn't.
It's the people in general here. It was the same when we went to Kruja. We met a very, very nice family there. Part of like the parents stayed in Germany for quite some time. And we got talking to them and they are so welcoming and so nice. They gave us like traditional Albanian pastisserie, like cookies or whatever it was. I don't remember. And some Skanderbeg brandy as well. And we are still in contact to them with them now. So like nearly a year later, we are still in touch with every single person that we've ever met in Albania, with every
Yep.
single guest house or the people that we got along with. We're still in touch with all of them. And like that hasn't happened to us in any other country. Like
nowhere else, guys. The level of connection, honesty, just being down to earth. Albania is just untouched when it comes to that. The people of Albania are just kind of, it's almost like it doesn't seem like reality when you meet them because we get lost somewhere like Naomi has said before so many times.
we got lost in Korcha.
Yeah, and then people
Yeah.
just start buying you coffee. They'll just be like, "Oh, here's a coffee, here's an espresso. Sit down. I'm gonna get you the Wi-Fi password. We're gonna help you figure this out." And it's
Yeah.
just like it's the level of just the willingness to help you when you're lost or in a bad situation. It's amazing.
Or anything really. When we were in Boboštica or Voskopoja, I think it was Boboštica. I was just pointing at grapes, and an elderly man came out and gave us like 2 kilograms of grapes.
Yep.
Just because I was pointing and I was like, hey, look at how cool the grapes are, because they're growing everywhere. And all of a sudden we had this big thing of like 2 kilograms of red grapes, and they were amazing. So and he didn't want any money for it either. We tried to give him money, but he didn't want it.
It's nuts. Brikel Salimi says Duris will be Dubai in next year. Imar investment there. Do you have info about this port? We have heard about it. We were in Duris during the summer last year, and we actually made a video all about Duris. Really incredible place. If you haven't checked that video out, guys, go and check it out. It's on our channel in the Albania playlist. And yeah, Dubai is heavily invested into Duris, and you can see the development that's starting to happen there. It's a really beautiful spot on the coast, and I can't wait to see what it turns out like.
I think that was, is it not the same guy that invested in Porto Montenegro in Tivat? I think something
think
like
so,
that.
yeah.
Like it's the same connection or the same business, something like that, that is now investing into Durrës.
Yep.
So I'm sure in the future it will be very nice, especially because Durrës was kind of suffering a little bit. I think in 2018 they had a very big earthquake there.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of, I mean, 2018 is not that long ago, so you can still see some remains of that earthquake, and I think they will rebuild everything there.
And Durrës it's fascinating. It is really fascinating. La Media says Durrës is fascinating there in the live chat, and it has such a history to it. There's so much different things going on there. You have the Durrës Amphitheater, which was probably one of the highlights of our first trip to Albania. That place is just so cool. We have like a drone, and we brought the drone in with us, and we flew the drone up over the amphitheater. And when you see like a bird's eye view down over Durrës, it's a really beautiful place, and there's a whole lot of development going on there. And I would say, realistically, in maybe 5, 10, 15 years, Durrës is going to be booming. If you do have some sort of an investment fund or anything like that, and you're looking at somewhere at a possible investment, anywhere really along the Albanian coastline is just untouchable. Like you will double, triple, quadruple your investment in the next decade. I'm telling you guys, it's unreal.
Insert warning here: we are not financial advisors.
We are not financial advisors. Do not listen to that advice. But if you are looking at stuff to invest in, check out the Albanian coast, because there's so much growth going on.
Vlora is currently or starting to build an airport as well. So like there is a lot more tourism going to come in through Vlora, and not only Tirana as well. So it will be a little bit easier for the tourists to get around or to go to the seaside straight away, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's very true. Tony says, which websites do you use to book airline tickets and hotels? We are super basic when it comes basic when we come to doing stuff like that. Our two go-tos for accommodation is Airbnb and booking.com. Just simply because I and Naomi have booked so many places on booking.com now that we have, like, they have like a rewards thing, so like a genius level rewards club or whatever they call it, and you get like extra discounts off of stays. Albania works really well with booking.com as well. It works better actually than Airbnb does, because a lot of properties in Albania, when it comes to Airbnb, you have to request to book the accommodation. And if you're traveling like we are and you're planning it one day ahead of the time, you can't request to book a place, because then you might be waiting 2 or 3 days for that person to come back to you, and then you're homeless. So we use booking.com a lot of the times, just simply because you can book it, it's confirmed straight away. It's usually a much more convenient thing to do, and then you pay for your stay when you arrive. Because a lot
in
of
cash.
In cash. Because a lot of places in Albania, that's a really good point actually. A lot of places in Albania just want you to pay with cash. And that's because a lot of companies like booking.com, they take percentages away from Albanian families that are running these places. So they just want the cash up front, and they can just be like, there you go. They made their money for the day. So let's see.
Linda was asking, have you ever been in a cafe where they do Albanian traditional music, Volkstanzmusik? Yes. That's
absolutely
amazing. We have been in, I think it was Boboštica.
Villa Melko.
Villa Melko, yeah. They have like this. It's a massive house where like with several stories where they do like live music and amazing food. They do like kind of farm to table type of food. They make their own butter, their own buttermilk. It's amazing. And then there's like this Albanian band playing in the back or sometimes in the front as well, because it's very loud and everybody's dancing. So Albania is madness when it comes to that, in an absolute positive way. Last night we just walked to the supermarket and there were people singing and dancing just like in a very small cafe, and you could hear them like 10 kilometers down the road, and the people with the tissues are like,
it's so common. It's really common for you to see. Yeah, you go to a restaurant, for example, and you order your food, and then all of a sudden you have live music just erupting out of nowhere, and the whole place just gets up and starts dancing. So that's a really great thing about Albania, just the culture and how lively the people are in the evening time. People just come alive at night time, especially during the summertime.
Yeah.
Let's see, guys. More questions in the live chat.
Marty was asking, for tourists coming from Europe, is the internet connection the same as in Italy or Greece? It depends where you go.
Yep.
We have had some smaller villages where it was really difficult to even upload a video. Like it took us like 24 hours to upload a video to YouTube. But in the bigger places, usually it's the same as in Germany, Italy, Greece, wherever.
Yeah, it usually depends in Albania, sort of what you're, a lot of places, it depends what you're paying per night. So if you're book a place, and let's just say you're staying in a hostel, or you're staying in kind of on the lower end of an Airbnb, for example, and you're trying to save money, a lot of times the Wi-Fi will be a little bit lesser quality, because there's usually going to be more people sharing that Wi-Fi, and it will be on the weaker side. But if you're paying, upwards of say 25, 30 euro a night, and you're in a private room by yourself with your own Wi-Fi, then it's perfectly fine. Like right now, thankfully, the Wi-Fi is working just fine for us. We have no problems with it so far. But yeah, it's kind of just different everywhere you go. Every city is different. I think the city in Albania for the strongest Wi-Fi and most reliable is probably Tirana.
Yeah.
Just because it's the capital and it's the best connected.
Definitely.
Let's see.
Under the sea.
Under the sea deals. Brick El Salimi says, thank you very much for thinking positively about Albania. I was told the truth, and this is a fact I do not utter, but it is created by God, in which we all look. Albania is a fairy tale country in which God forbid, there are mountains, hills, fields, seas, lakes, rivers, meadows, but many tourists have a bad mind about Albania, and this is unfortunate. Yeah, that's very true. A lot of people do speak really poorly about Albania. We get comments quite often under our YouTube videos from people saying bad stuff about
It's
the
so
country.
interesting. The last time we were in Albania, we said a little bit more critical things, and people had an issue with that, which I understand.
Yep.
This time around, we are saying predominantly positive things, but people still have an issue with that because they think we are kind of trying to, to put the candy cotton around Albania or whatever and make it look amazing. But
yeah,
we're just portraying the way we see it.
The infrastructure, etc. And then if we put out a video that's all